Mm.
Alrighty, well, good afternoon and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Andrew Doffney and I'm the Instruction and Outreach Librarian at the New Jersey State Library. And it's my pleasure to present our speaker for today, Amanda Griffith, who is the Financial Wellbeing Impact Officer, as well as a certified credit union financial credit or counselor for the Credit Union of New Jersey. Amanda has given presentations for us before, so we like to welcome her back and appreciate the Credit Union of New Jersey for providing these free programming opportunities. And today we're going to be talking about 10 steps to financial success. So we're going about talking about different things to help make sure that you are financially stable and able to um, be financially well off and have a good foundation for that. So, but before we jump into Amanda's presentation, I just have a few housekeeping items to go over. First and foremost, we will be taking your questions at the end of Amanda's presentation, but please feel free to submit them at any time using the Q&A or the chat feature in the Zoom dashboard. Amanda has provided me with a handout, so I will be uploading to the chat once we get underway. If you have a problem downloading the handout from the chat, don't worry, it will be available as an attachment in the follow-up email that I will be sending out. There will be a survey available at the end of the webinar, so if you have time, we ask that you please complete the survey. We really do really appreciate any and all feedback that you can give us. And if you want more information on a variety of financial resources, the Credit Union of New Jersey has a fantastic website, which is the web address on the screen there. I will also be sending that out in the chat so that you have a live link to that as well. And then one last thing I want to go over is just a brief overview of the Zoom dashboard. This is what your dashboard should look like if you're using a PC or a Mac. If you're using a mobile device, the dashboard may look a little bit different, but all of the features will still be there. On the bottom left-hand corner, you can check your audio settings. So if you're using an external listening device, like a headset or earbuds, you can check to make sure that it's connected properly there. At any point during the presentation, if you have any issues, there is a raise hand button here in the middle. You can click on that and that'll alert me. I will send you a message in Zoom and hopefully be able to solve any problems that you are having. And lastly, as I mentioned, if you have questions, you can send them to us at any time using the Q&A or the chat features, and we will address them at the end of Amanda's presentation. So that is everything that I have for you. So I'm going to turn it over to Amanda now.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And Andrew, again, thank you so much for allowing me to do this. Let me start my PowerPoint real quick. I will get on. Let me share this. Okay, so today we're going to be going over, like I said, the 10 steps of financial success. I am a financial well-being impact officer for the Credit Union of New Jersey, and also too, I am a certified financial counselor. What that actually means is I'm able to raise your credit scores. I'm also able to help you if you have a credit review or anything like that. If you're looking over your credit report and you see issues with your credit report, or say that you have anything like fraud on your credit report, anything like that at all, even budgeting, I can go over with you too if you need help with that. So please let me know. You can always email me, you can call me, and it's completely free for everybody. But let's get started because we do have a lot of things to go over for you. So the first thing we're going to be going over is financial prosperity. And what that is being in control of your money. So your income does not determine how successful you are. Your choices and priorities do. So I always say to everybody, it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. It all depends on your choices and what you're doing with your life, and how hard you're working. Even if you're saving and you only have about $1,000 saved, it's all how you look at yourself and you look at the big picture and make sure that you're paying your things on time. And that's really what financial success is all about. It doesn't mean for you to have $1 million in the account. It just means that you're making your payments on time and you're living day to day and you're not struggling. That's what financial success is to me. Everybody's view is going to be completely different, but at least we're going to go over just 10 ways to kind of help you to become financially successful and to figure out what that is to yourself. So the first thing that you have to do is establish goals. You have to identify what you need and what you want. And I always tell that when I teach my financial literacy classes for schools, we go over needs and wants. What do you actually need in life and what do you want in life? Because what you need are the things that you should be prioritizing, what you should be putting your money into. When you do establish your goals and what you want to do in life, maybe you want to retire Maybe you want to go on a cruise in a couple of months. These are things that you want to establish and you want to, write these lists down. I always say that getting everybody involved in your family is the best thing to do as well. Involve your family members if you have children, if you have maybe your parents are living with you, your grandparents. Have everybody sit down and establish goals together, because what no one understands is that everybody has a different mindset about money. A child's going to have a different mindset the way that I'm going to have a different mindset. Your parents are going to have a different way of savings as well. My mother never used to spend money at all. They were in a savings mode. I'm in a spending mode. I like to spend. So you have to really sit down with the family and really figure out everything for yourself, and for the whole entire household. You have to really be specific when you're trying to reach a goal, and be realistic. You're not going to sit there and be like, I want to be a millionaire next year. You know, if you're just somebody like me, that's, we're making, middle amount of money. You have to be realistic with your goals. You have to make sure, like, I can't go out and buy myself a Range Rover right now. I don't make that kind of money. So be realistic with your goals. And it can be done with, current or resources that you have right now, or maybe if you think you're getting a raise. But like I said, write all of these down on a piece of paper, journal them. You could put them in Excel spreadsheets, whatever you want to do, but just have all this written down somewhere. Step 2 is the most important, is taking stock. You have to determine where you stand, at some sort of starting point. You have to know what you have in your bank accounts. What you own and what you owe minus what you owe is your net worth. I actually did this, and I think my net worth is like $1,000. I'm pretty proud of it. So I don't really have that much money, but at least I am above, I'm not sinking. And that's what I want everybody to do today. What I mean by taking stock is budgeting. What you want to do is you want to list all of your expenses and all of your income. And I'm talking income about like child support, if you're getting that, if you're getting, unemployment. You want to see where you lie. That's the only way you're going to take stock of what you actually have. And if anybody has issues with doing this, please let me know. I love helping people with budgeting. I love, determining how, where your money is, what's going on, where's those spending leaks happening. But you have to take stock. You have to figure out what you're worth. Do you own a house? Do you own a really nice car? Are these things paid off? Because that all depends too as well for you. Step 3 is create a spending and savings plan. This is what I was talking about, the budgeting. So you're going to do income, and then you're going to do expenses. It's a tracking, and it's a tracking sheet, they call it, or a budgeting sheet. You want to see what your savings is and your debt is. What I always say too is that if you do have a savings account, always keep in that savings account, if you want to try to get ahead of the game, at least 1 month worth of your rent or mortgage sitting in a savings. Most people don't even have $500 to their name right now, because things were kind of bad. I'm hoping in the new year with tax returns, you're able just to put, for emergency reasons, 1 payment of your mortgage or 1 payment of your rent away. And you're actually going to be ahead of the game, and over a lot of people that I work with. Like I said, a lot of people don't even have $500 to $100 in a savings account right now. So make sure that you're creating a spending plan. Make sure you're understanding where your money is going. Make sure that you're actually doing, you're sitting there and you're making sure that your checking accounts are balanced, and that you're making sure that you're writing all of your receipts down and stuff like that. The way to really do a great budget is to save your receipts for at least 1 month. And I'm talking about when you go to Wawa or get that cup of coffee, get a receipt and put it in an envelope for at least 1 month. Because I need to understand, when you're doing a budget, where all of your money is coming out of. Because a lot of people don't track these things, and you have to do it in order to do an actual very good budget for yourself. Step 4, you have to live within your means. And, a lot of times we say this, try to increase your income. It's very easy to say that, but it's very hard to do. You're not going to go to your manager and be like, I need more money. They're not going to do it for you. And it's never, it's never that easy. It's never going to be that easy. So if you really can't increase your income, which I know I can't do for mine, I make sure I prioritize my spending. I reduce it. I make sure that I, postpone things that I can't afford right now. Like I would love to go, to Disney World one day with my kids, but I can't afford it. It is so expensive, especially because I have two kids, and it's just realistically I can't do that. So I substitute, Disney World. Maybe we'll just go to the boardwalk. These are things that you have to think about, if you're really trying to one day have that kind of money and that, safety net in your savings account. Maybe you have to forego some things right now. Maybe you just can't go on those vacations and stuff. What I always say though is that you do have to take time for you and your family and live every single day like it's your last. But you also have to make sure that you can afford the things that you're doing too. So that's why I always say try to, you know, maybe substitute something for something else, but still enjoy life at the same time. And like I said before, if anybody needs help with any of this, please let me know. So these are the suggested budget guidelines. Housing should be 35% of your pay, 25% should be other, 15% should be from your debt. Transportation should be at 15%, and your savings should be at 10% altogether. This is just a suggested budget guideline when you're trying to see where your money is going and how it's supposed to look. This is somebody that's making this up because most likely everybody's is going to be completely different. Does my housing go to 35%? I think it does. But transportation right now is probably at a 30% because I have to drive all around town. I'm always driving all the time. So this is just kind of giving you a broad, look at what a suggested budget would be or where all of your money is actually going. So everybody's is going to be different. I know a lot of banks and financial institutions will break this up for you and kind of tell you where all your money is going when you go online. But yeah, someone just wrote, I would have to move out of New Jersey. Yes, me too, if this is really what it's supposed to look like. But it's not, this is not realistic. Let's just all put it there. But yes, so and my savings is not at 10% right now. I'm going to say my savings is maybe at 3%. I'm trying to save. I pull money from my savings account that I don't even look at. So when my paycheck comes in, I have the credit union pulling at least, I think it's $20, and I put it into a savings account every time I get paid. So that's really what my savings is at this point right now. Step 5, pay yourself first, like I was just going over. Paying yourself first, what does that mean? That means that when you have a paycheck and it comes in, you don't even see the money being pulled from your paycheck going into a savings account. That it's just automatically done for you. I know here at the credit union that I work for, they do that automatically for me, and we do it for a lot of the state employees. We'll pull right from your pay and put it into a savings account, or we'll put it into a checking account. That's paying yourself first. I know a lot of people pay themselves last. And what that means is that you get your paycheck in, you pay all of your bills, and you go, you see what you need for food, you see what you need, if you want to go out to dinner and stuff. And then whatever you have left, you put into a savings account. So that's paying yourself last. A lot of the times that doesn't work because you look at that money sitting there, you're like, oh, I have a couple bucks left. Let me do this. So if you do it first and you don't even see it, usually you're able to save a lot more without actually taking care of it of yourself. Can you save at least 10% of your income? If you can, good for you. I wish, a lot of people can't right now. So I always say, even if you could save $5 from your paycheck, you are a lot better off than a lot of people that I've been talking to lately. Because it's really tough out there. So like I said, if your financial institution can do that for you, please let me know. Try to start that for the year. At least by the end of the year, you're going to have your savings account, and you didn't even do it for yourself. It's just something that automatically happened. And you can use that money for emergencies or whatever you need it for. So there is a 3-tiered savings plan out there. I always like to say everybody should have short-term goals. Everybody should have a medium-term goal, and everybody should have a long-term goal. A short-term goal is usually your budgeting. It's like you want to, in a couple months, maybe you wanted to go like on a small vacation or something. A medium term is something about a house. You want to, like in a couple of years, you want to buy a house. And long term is always investment, retirement. You want to retire at a certain age. So you want to make sure that when you are setting up something for yourself, because for me, I don't have enough money to go to a financial advisor. You pretty much have to do all of this on your own. But you really do have to set these things up for yourself. Figure out what do you want to do in a couple months, what do you want to do in a couple years, and what do you want to do in the long term? Because we're all going to retire one day. So you have to make sure that your retirement is sitting there. I used to sit there at 24 and think, why am I putting money into a 401k? I don't have the kind of money for that. And I should have done it a long time ago. And now I'm making up for it. And I could kick myself for not saving when I was 24, because all of a sudden retirement comes out of nowhere and it's all around. I'm 45. I only have 20 years left, but still that's going to come very quickly. And I do need money. And I never realized how much money you need in order to retire, because who knows if we're going to have Social Security. So like I said, these are just things that you really have to, think about and look at. If you're not able to go to a financial advisor, you have to do these things on your own. And you have to make sure that, like I said, you have all these goals put down somewhere. Oh, quit procrastinating. You have to start now. You have to decide how much to put aside. I used to be the biggest procrastinator. I used to just sit there and be like, whatever. Like I said, even with retirement, you know what? I'll do that another day. And like I said, it just, do not wait. Make sure that you're, putting money away. Make sure, like I said, you're putting money aside, have it auto deducted out of your account. Your future is worth spending a little less today. I say that. And then when I do my financial counseling, I also tell people too, you have to kind of live for today as well. Yes, we should be putting money away because, your future is going to come, but you also have to enjoy now as well too. I don't want to be like my parents who never did anything and all they did was save money. And I always ask my mom, why didn't you guys travel? And they're like, well, we needed to save and we had to save. Like they were just they never did anything. And I don't want to do that. I want to be able to enjoy life with my kids and, go on vacations too now. So I try to do both. And I do still save for the future as well. So just remember that too. Just, don't procrastinate. Try to save a little bit of money, but also to try to live your life for today too as well. This is just the power of time. If you're looking at this right now, if you started saving, right now, after 30 years, if you started putting money away, this person here, if you see at the end one that says the 30 years, that blue line, right there. And then the other one, the darker blue, is if you waited 10 years, how much the difference is. So it's just kind of showing you how much money, if, after 30 years, if you started at one point and then started at another, it just all depends on interest rates too. It's just kind of giving you a reality that you have to start saving now instead of waiting. So step 6 to the 10 steps is delete your debt. You have to reduce your interest. You have to increase your payments or try to aggressively repay your most expensive debts. Easier said than done again if you're not coming in with enough income. So what I always say to everybody that's, trying to pay down their debts, and every morning you're waking up maybe with anxiety or having, you're trying to figure out, how do I pay all this off? The first thing I always say is that if you have a credit card right now that has a huge high interest rate, try paying that down first. I say that, if you can, if you're able to. Other people that I counsel and coach sometimes feel like if they have a small credit card out there, they feel a sense of relief and accomplishment if they can pay that off first, the smaller one first, because then that's wiped away. And they're like, look, I actually paid one off. Whatever way makes you happy, whatever way you feel good about yourself and doing, do it. But really start chunking away at those credit card debt, because credit card, you'll see that you can have a credit card debt for over 30 years and you are literally paying back this bank and this credit card company so much money, and you don't realize how much interest you're paying, even on $100 to $200. It's just that they kill you with interest. And this is how they make all of their money. And I don't want to give these banks anymore all of my money. So try to pay them down as much as you can. Try to make a payment plan. So say you have $1,000 credit card bill, try giving them $100 a month if you can and have that paid off by the end of the year. So make yourself every single year have like a different credit card you're going to pay off. You can do that as well. But like also too, if you really needed to, or if you needed help calling your credit card companies, let me know. Sometimes we can reduce your interest for you. It's just you have to be aggressive and call them and explain the situation that you're in, that you cannot afford these credit card payments. So what's bad debt versus okay debt? So okay debt is, your home, your mortgage, if you own a business that's successful, your education loans. And what do they consider bad debt? If you go and you use your credit card and you pay a vacation and you're unable to pay it off as soon as you get back, that's something that they want to consider bad debt. Why do they say that's bad debt? Because by the time you already got back from your vacation and now you're still paying on that credit card a year later and the vacation was already a year ago. So I always say this, if you're going to put something on a credit card and like even gas or something, if you're not able to pay it back within a month, don't put it on that credit card, because think about it. You're paying 24% interest on gas that's already out of your gas tank. You're paying 24% interest on a vacation that you took last year. So that vacation went from maybe $2,000. Now it's up to like $3,500 because of interest rates. Just remember, that's what you have to think of when you're using your credit cards to pay for certain things. You want to use your credit cards, in case of emergencies. Maybe, it's something that you're going to pay back, within 2 or 3 months. But if you're unable to pay it back and you're just using that as extra income, then you shouldn't have used your credit card in the first place. Always remember, credit cards aren't income. They are not extra money for you. That is not your money. It's a bank's money. So you're always going to have to pay it back. And that's what I think a lot of people do when they get a credit card. They're like, oh, well, I just got one for 5,000. That's, money. It's not your money. They get you, and that's how these credit card companies get you. Step 7, if you're able to buy a home. That is something, people say, financial success is all about. Yes, home ownership is not right for everyone, though. You have to remember that too. Some people can't afford to buy a home. So if you're able to rent, that's awesome too. That's a financial success to me as well. Buying a home right now, I wouldn't even be able to afford it. It's just absolutely insane. I don't know how people are affording to buy a home right now, but if you do own a home, that is amazing. That is a huge thing that everybody wants to do at one point. If you're looking to buy a home, you would have to start now to rebuild your credit. Always remember that if you are going to go buy a house and it's going to be you and your partner, your significant other, just remember that they go by the lowest credit score. We do a lot of all places actually do when you go buy a home. So if there's 2 credit scores and say that, my spouse has an 800 credit score and I have a 640, they go by the 640 first. They don't combine credit scores when you're going to buy a home. So keep that in mind when you are going to look, and if you are looking, to buy something or maybe even renting something, you have to start, rebuilding your credit score now. But like I said, step 7, buying a home, it is a financial success, but I think also too is renting. Even if you are just, leasing a home, whatever you're doing, it's something that makes you feel good. That's financial success to me. Step 8, diversify. Make sure that if you are in a 401k or you do have a pension loan right now, make sure that you are, diversifying your stocks, bonds, and cash and everything that you have. Look into mutual funds if you do have that as well. I know that I bought crypto. I don't know how good of, I can't even afford it, but I did because everybody was saying I only put a little bit in there. But I do diversify though for my 401k. It's in a mutual fund that's in all different, different companies, and I look at it all the time. Make sure that you're watching that too as well. And make sure that you're not losing money if you are in a pension and you're looking at your pension statements as well. If anybody has issues or questions about that, I do have Brittany that works with me that would be able to look over and just kind of go over like a brief summary of what you're in, maybe if you're not actually in the right mutual fund for yourself. Step 9 is you have to plan ahead. Make sure that you do have insurance. Make sure you have health insurance out there. If not, there are, you can go through the state insurance if you don't have it. Disability insurance, make sure, I think I have that too as well. I do have life insurance. I actually took out life insurance, a whole life policy on me. I have two of them. I have one each for my daughters because by the time they're 18, the policy pays for itself. They're never going to have to worry about buying life insurance for themselves when they get older because I bought it so young that it's only $3 and they're both covered each $25,000 and that's theirs for forever and it actually makes money. So really look into those things. I never really thought of getting life insurance on my kids. I thought that was just karma, but actually it was a really smart idea because they're making money plus they'll never have to pay for their whole life policy once they get older. So really look into life insurance for yourself because you also don't want to leave your family with nothing. There's also liability insurance. There's auto insurance, renters. Make sure you have it if you are renting. Make sure you do have renters insurance, and make sure that you do have homeowners insurance on your house. I know everybody, if you do have a mortgage, you must have homeowners. Also to plan ahead, there is estate planning out there. A will, determine who your executors are, decide distribution and alternate beneficiaries, choose a guardian, include a residue, have that clause added into it. You want to have, if you want to trust, you can do trusts. And you can also, there's a document out there for life-saving measures. Now I do have a will. I made sure that once my kids were born, because God forbid anything happened to me, I wanted to make sure they were in the right hands. Do you change executors all the time? Yes, because it all depends on who's in your life at that time. But if anybody has questions about this, please let me know. We can go over this for you. We could do a one-on-one. I do, like I said, I have Brittany that works with us that can go over this information. Do I have a medical, the document that does the medical? I'm having a brain fart right now, but yes, I do. My husband has do not resuscitate, do not bring back. I don't have that for me because I can't think that, I don't like thinking those ways. But make sure that you are thinking of your, your children and everything like that. You want to make sure that you do have a will. You can go online. It's very easy to do too. It fills it all out for you. Just make sure, like I said, that you trust your executor. You have all that on there. Make sure that you do have, it shows on there where all your money is going to go to. And all you have to do is get that notarized. And it's very easy to do, like I said, online. And then step 10, get help. So a lot of people, I do a lot of coaching, and I noticed that some people actually have, spending issues. They have a lot of issues where they can nonstop using, their credit cards. If you do have issues with spending, if you are struggling right now to keep yourself afloat with money, ask a professional. Ask me. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you try to understand where your money is going. Stop, where are you spending all that money all the time? And also too, you can go online. There's so much support online, on the internet. We do these seminars for you. There's books about, financial help and stuff, but it's not bad to ask for help. Sometimes people don't see what's going on right in front of them and they just need someone else to say, hey, you're spending too much at, Wawa. You're spending too much, going out for lunch all the time. These are things that you have to stop. Also to everybody as well, make sure that you're looking, I'm kind of jumping the subject here, but just make sure that you're looking at a lot of your bank statements. Unfortunately, fraud is on the rise too as well. So I ask everybody online right now to please keep on looking at your bank statements. Make sure that you're looking at your credit cards. Make sure that, you're looking. I open mine up every single morning. The fraud is crazy going on. There's a lot of people that are stealing information at, when they're going to ShopRite and Walmart right now. It's just a little advice too when you're out there trying to save money. Unfortunately, there are thieves out there trying to take your money. Um, and an investment is not in knowledge always pays the best interest. And that's from Ben Franklin. It's a great quote that I always live by too as well. And I just want to thank everybody for being on today. This is my email address. It's agriffith@cunj.org. Please email me with any questions that you have. Like I said, I can always sit there and help you guys with any kind of coaching if you're needing help with budgeting, if you want me to do a credit review for you. Money management we can do too. Like I said, even if it's investments or wills and stuff like that, please let me know. We do have Brittany that's on hand at my credit union, New Jersey, that will do that for free as well. Kind of look over everything for you. But again, thank you guys so much for being here today. And if you guys have any questions, please ask.
All right, thank you so much. Man, I'm just going to update. I know you mentioned Brittany. I'm going to put Brittany's uh, contact information in the chat. So if you're looking for anything that is related to retirement planning, life insurance, things like that, please contact Brittany. She has given a few presentations for us in the past, so please go ahead and do that. And as I said, if you do have questions, you can send them in the Q&A or the chat, and we'll be happy to address them. We got a couple questions for estate planning and medical directive documents. Do you need to go to a lawyer for them, or can you just have them notarized?
So for estate planning, you actually don't have to. You can actually do everything online and then have somebody notarize it for you. But if you want to make sure that everything is correct, I do say go to a lawyer, just because you want to make sure that the wording is correct too as well. But you can do it on your own if you want to. I actually had a friend notarize my life-saving measures when they had to do that and my will. And then I'd rather you guys, I always say just try going to a lawyer. I know it doesn't cost too much, but if you do need a lawyer, please let me know. Just email me. I do have a group of lawyers that do wills and estate planning too.
And if there are any state employees who are part of any unions on here, check with your union benefits, because sometimes they will provide these as free for paying union dues. If you're an active member and a paying member, you might get these services for free by going through the union. So please check those out.
Oh, that's awesome. That would be great.
Um, what is a residuary clause?
So a residuary clause in a will or trust, it just states who inherits any remaining assets after debts, taxes have been paid. So after everything is paid, it's just a clause on there that's just telling you, okay, this person's going to receive this asset. This person's going to receive this asset. You're kind of breaking everything down. So they're always saying that you want this clause in your will. I don't know if I actually have it in my will, but it's something that it's going to say that even if you're doing your wills online, it's going to ask if you want this clause. But if you have any issues with that, just let me know. I can also help with that too.
Do you have any recommended apps or programs to help make a budget?
I can actually send over paperwork. It's a whole big thing. It's a budget sheet that I have. I can send that to you if you want to just take my email address down and just email me that you need something for budgeting. It's very easy, but if you wanted to go online, we have, let me see, we go through balance. I don't know. Budgeting. Let me see if I can get you a website though too. So there also is NerdWallet. Um, they actually do a how to budget money, a 5-step guide on how budgeting is all about. And a lot of times financial institutions will give you free budgeting tips too. But like I said, I can also send you paperwork if you want.
Nerd Wallet was the name that she
Yes,
mentioned.
Nerd Wallet.
Let's see
It's
here.
nerdwallet.com.
Um, I know you mentioned paying down high interest credit card debt first. Do you have any tips and tricks for determining which debt to tackle and how?
So, like I said, usually what I always tell people, I have to kind of figure out how they feel about paying something off as opposed to are they more upset about the high interest rates and this huge. Some people like to tackle the small things first and have that paid off, and it's just a sense of relief. Some people, when I try to ask them what they want to pay off first, it's that one that has like a $20,000 with 24% interest. They want to see that one going down. Um, I always say first, figure out which one's going to make you happy. Do you want to start tackling the one that's, at 24% interest right now? Because I always say the ones that are going to kill you in the end are the ones with the highest interest rates. So I always say try to tackle them first. But if you do have, say, a credit card out there that's like $300, $400, and you have, you want to pay that off right away, do that too. So it all depends on what's going to make you feel better. But right now, I would say pay the ones with that highest interest rate if you can.
All right. Does putting your house into a trust protect your kids from taxes once it's given to them?
It's a good question. I'm not really sure. I don't really do trusts. I would have to ask Brittany about that one. But if you want to send me that question, I can ask her because she's the one that actually does all the financial advising. But she can actually let you know about that question.
I don't see any other questions right now. We can give it a few minutes to see if anything else comes in. But is there
Okay.
anything you would like to close with, Amanda, to remind people or kind of wrap up?
Yeah. So I just want to thank everybody today. I do, like I said, I do a big thing right now about theft that's going on. And I keep on mentioning this. I know, like, I don't want to scare anybody that's on here, but please watch your bank accounts. Please watch your social security numbers. Please be checking your credit reports. Unfortunately, it's so big right now, identity theft and people stealing your identity and stuff like that, that I keep on mentioning this. Just make sure that you're taking, you're going on, you're checking everything, you're making sure that everything's correct. Make sure that you're whenever you're going to be using your card, your debit card, and someone's standing behind you, ask them to move back. There's no reason for them to watch you put your PIN number in. Make sure that you're checking your children's social security number and your grandchildren's. We do have kids right now that have a car loan in their name. He's 5 years old and he has a $50,000 car loan because children's socials are being stolen. So please check that as well. I don't want to scare you. I know we're doing this financial success, but these are just things that I want you guys to do too as well when you get off here.
All righty. Well, thank you so much. Uh, not state. Um, you mentioned state benefits, wo- union benefits. Would Brittany offer services at no cost?
So she can look over any, like, all of the information for pensions, but she can't. There's not, like, she can't really like do anything with the pension unless you're retiring. But she can look and give you advice for free. There's no fee for that at all. But unfortunately, you would have to go through whoever works at the state through the pension, I guess, department for that one. But you can, like I said, if you want her to sit down and go over what you're invested into, even if you have, I think it's deferred comp, if you're having that as well, she can actually look over that too and see what you're invested into.
All Alrighty, I don't see anything else, so we can go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much, Amanda, for presenting again for us today. And thank you everybody for attending. I hope this was beneficial and gave you some things to think about as we start a new year and we're moving forward with resolutions and trying to better ourselves. So um, and everybody be safe, be well, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you guys so much.